Welcome back to 4 Minutes of Mentorship with me, your host, James Mitra. I'm the founder of JBM, a search firm that places executives and future leaders into high-growth startups and scale-ups. I really hope you're enjoying this series and our new bite-sized Monday episode so far. And if you do, please don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. As it's World Mental Health Day today, I thought it was only fitting to share some of my own experiences with mental health as a founder with you all. If you've been listening for a while, you might already know that I'm very open about the challenges that I've faced over the years, and I'm a work in progress when it comes to being more vulnerable with the team and the people closest to me. Historically, you could definitely accuse me of being a closed book that was, I'd like to think, a great friend and always there for anybody, but not the best at really sharing how I was feeling. And for many years, I got by fine, although I didn't. And that's the honest truth. I spent the first few years of my career working really hard, not really enjoying it, couldn't figure out why every Sunday I didn't want to go into work, why I was kind of skiving off saying I was ill, and why I was having massive anxiety before certain meetings or certain events. And the truth is because I suffer with anxiety, it took me many, many years to acknowledge it and to kind of almost embrace it. And the way that that manifested itself was that I basically burnt out. I burnt out quite a few times. So a really good example of my anxiety and claustrophobia coming out was, it was a really cold day. My daughter was young. I used to get up at silly o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to get an early train into town. And it was really cold. So I had a hoodie under my jacket and it was dark in the house. And I basically got my zip stuck and I got myself into I got so claustrophobic because it was so tight to my chest that I was ripping at my jacket to try and release it. I just couldn't get out and I had the biggest panic attack. I stormed into our room and woke my wife up and couldn't breathe, and I'd cut my finger from so aggressively trying to open my jacket. It feels very strange admitting this. And my wife just calmed me down and she gently unzipped the jacket, which was clearly very easy to do, but I'd got myself up into such a state. And I realized in that moment I had really something going on with me. It was a time of heightened stress with work. Things were not going great. I wasn't sleeping properly. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't doing any exercise. And it was like one of the first times I realized, wow, I really have to sort this out. So that was the first time I ever went to go speak to a professional. I actually got hypnotherapy for a bit. And the process of going to actually talk about, my anxiety and actually try and dig into it a bit more and just being open about it was a really, really beneficial thing. And although I didn't continue the hypnotherapy for too long a time, it really helped me realize some of the triggers around my mental health and when I can have an anxiety attack or panic attack. And so ever since then, I've been much more mindful of it. And I think some of the things that really helped me are eating well, getting at least 7 hours sleep, hopefully 8 hours sleep. For me, it's exercising is so important. So I started boxing and playing football again every week, something that I'd really missed from my youth. And then the other big thing is talking about how I'm feeling, whether that's to our team, being more vulnerable in weekly catch-ups, whether it's to my wife when I come back from home and just kind of decompress by talking about how I'm feeling, or our board of advisors. I kept so much in for so long, and now you can't get me to shut up. I will tell you how I'm feeling. I'm much more open, and I'm back getting therapy. I've been having weekly sessions. I don't always feel I have much to say, but it's amazing how there's always stuff bubbling under the surface. So again, I'm no expert, but I just know a lot of people out there are like how I used to be, particularly men, about the stiff upper lip, worrying about the judgment that will come from talking about mental health. And I was so like that before. The truth is that we are now talking about mental health way more, and it's going to save lives. And the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, the better. And I have to thank some previous 40-minute mentors for being incredibly honest about their mental health and their journeys. James Routlegde from Sanctus, Carrie Carlisle, Sophie Scott, Rohan Kalitaran, who have all come on and shared their incredible stories and given incredible advice when it comes to their mental health and supporting others with it. I just really hope that by doing this, we're going to save more lives. I'm sure, like others, myself and many other people I know have lost loved ones and friends to suicide. I just think we all can do our bit to continue to normalize speaking about this to save lives in the future. I really hope this has been helpful to hear, especially if you're a founder experiencing similar struggles at the moment. We've left some links in the show notes with some resources which might be helpful for you and your team. If you're happy to share, I'd also love to hear some of your own experiences, especially about how you make mental health something that your team feels comfortable in talking about. As always, if you have any questions you'd like us to answer in these bite-sized episodes, please drop our producer Hannah a line at hannah@jbmc.co.uk. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and hopefully see you again on Wednesday when I'm joined by Ian Hogarth, co-founder of Plural, a new early stage platform dedicated to investing in Europe's next generation of tech companies with global ambitions. We talk about his own incredible journey of starting and scaling Songkick through to an exit. And relevantly for this episode, he also talks about his own experience of loss and how he had to take some time out after the Songkick experience for his family. And he shares some incredibly interesting thoughts on the VC industry and why Plural are doing things differently. I hope you're going to really enjoy it. It was a fantastic episode. Ian is one of the most interesting and sharpest minds in the tech ecosystem, so don't forget to tune in then.